Lewis unbeaten, remember, after 25 fights. Oh, he's got him! Oh, Lewis walked into a right hand, and that was the sucker punch.
Four of them chases Lewis across the ring. With a thunderbolt to the right hand. Shades of Oliver McCall. September 24, 1994 in London. Has Rockman pulled the upset? He has. He got a brand
advantage and is unbeaten, whereas the challenger has got 5 defeats on his record. The referee, officially appointed by the WBC, is from Mexico, Jose Guadalupe Garcia. The first of what's scheduled for 12 rounds of World Heavyweight Championship Boxing, the WBC title. The man, the taller of the two, Lennox Lewis, the champion, making his 4th defense of the title he won in perhaps some controversial circumstances, but he's defended successfully 3 times. And Oliver, the Atomic Bull McCall, who's in the black trunks with the gold trim down the side, is expected to be a very worthy challenger. Lewis coming in at exactly 17 stones, and McCall 16.5 stones and just about a quarter of a pound. And Lewis, some 3 inches taller, has a considerable reach advantage, but McCall has been in with a lot of very good opponents, including Tony Tucker, the man against whom Lewis made his very first defense in Las Vegas in May of 1993. The last time Lewis was in this ring was to defeat Gary Mason for the British and European heavyweight titles. Gary Mason somewhere at ringside, making his comeback and wondering, will he ever get to fight at this level again, and will indeed he ever get to fight Lennox Lewis? So the taller champion, Lewis, and he really needs a big win. He's not still terribly highly rated by pundits across the pond in the United States of America, whereas Oliver McCall certainly is rated as #1 challenger by the 3 major governing bodies of world boxing: the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF. And the man who was the former sparring partner for Mike Tyson, Oliver McCall, relatively unknown in this country, is expected to give Lennox Lewis a very hard fight, and if he rips in any more right hands like that to the body of Lewis, then those predictions will be completely correct. Lewis tends to start very tentatively. He did just that in his last title defense against Phil Jackson in Atlantic City in May of this year, before getting to grips with the challenger then and winning the fight in the 8th round. He does throw a very good right hand, Oliver McCall, and Lewis will have to watch that. He tends to drop his left occasionally. Lewis trying to work behind the jab. That's rather wild by McCall. Perhaps wishes to pressurize the champion to get the fight over with as early as possible. McCall very heavily muscled, very strong, and reckons he's in the best condition of his life. Good right hand, a good slicing right by the champion. And that's the first sign we've seen of that strong punch by Lewis. Well, what an opening first round. And while the Wembley Arena is by no means packed to capacity, there's a tremendous atmosphere. Lennox Lewis, a little bit of work being done just underneath his left eye.
Okay. Stay with your jab. That's the key. Stay on the stick. Keep in the circle. When he's inside, try to catch his uppercut coming in.
Final instruction then to Lennox Lewis. An interesting first round with both men letting a little bit go from the armory, but there's plenty more still there, one suspects. And Lewis working again behind that jab. He's got very fast hands for a big man, very athletic. Lewis unbeaten, remember, after 25 fights. Oh, he's got him! Oh, Lewis walked into a right hand, and that was the sucker punch that they worried about. And Lewis staggers, and the referee has decided it's all over. My goodness, what an upset, and Lennox Lewis's career must now be in tatters. Oliver, the Atomic Bull McCall, the 29-year-old from Chicago, has stopped Lennox Lewis, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, in the second round. McCall says, "I told you so, I told you so," reminiscent of Muhammad Ali 3 decades ago. And Oliver McCall and his entourage cannot simply believe it themselves. It was a right hand delivered with startling ferocity and startling speed, and Lennox Lewis dropped the left almost imperceptibly and walked straight onto it, the classic sucker punch. And look at the difference in the two corners. Lewis cannot believe it, and his hopes perhaps of a unification title with Michael Moorer, a rematch with Riddick Bowe, and who knows, Mike Tyson expected to come out of prison, and a fight in the offing. And Lewis simply cannot believe it, because at the moment that would all seem to be completely gone. Pandemonium here in the Wembley Arena, and Lennox Lewis counted out with less than a minute of the second round gone. The crowd can't believe it.
Typical of this most cruel of sports, Rahman's career is defined more by his 2 losses than by his 34 wins. Only 17 jabs per round by Lewis by CompuBox numbers in the first 4 rounds, and that's fewer than Lennox would want to throw to be at his optimum. Frankly, he isn't throwing that many punches at all. He's been under 40 punches per round. Heavyweight average is around 40. In most of his best efforts, Lennox is much busier than that, sometimes 60 punches a round.
Rahman jabs to the left, to the body once or twice, then he comes up with that right hand. Lennox Lewis better be careful.
While Lewis hasn't been busy, he has been accurate, more accurate than Rahman. But that presents a classic quandary for the judges. Is the busier fighter better, or is the one who lands at a higher rate better?
Rahman blinked that right hand. He's having trouble seeing out of his left eye, it appears.
And Lewis goes to the body with the left hook. Trying to get Rock to bring his hands down, give him another shot at that swelling left eye.
You know, you're fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. If you start to bleed, so what?
So far,
your eyes start to close, so what?
Yeah, you got to go. That's right.
Don't make any looks. Don't touch your face. Keep fighting.
So far, Rahman has done a pretty good job of staying off the ropes and toward the center of the ring.
I don't like him touching his face like that.
His 2 disastrous moments, George, against Moskaev and Tua occurred when he had his back to the ropes. Right hand by Rahman that momentarily stuns Lewis. Lewis smiling at him as a result.
Good right hand. That's what you got to do. You fighting for the title. You want the men's title, go take it.
Excellent chopping right hand.
Lewis stopped jabbing. He can walk into some right hand. That's what's happening now. If you're going to walk into them and walk to the man, use your left jab.
Lewis with a jab right to the body. Left hook upstairs combination. Now he just fires the right hand.
Lennox Lewis is like a big cat.
Rahman jab, 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 jab. 4 of them. Chases Lewis across the ring. Shades of Oliver McCall, September 24, 1994, in London. Has Rahman pulled the upset? He has. He got a brand new heavyweight champion, and he's from the United States.
Taking this man seriously, and the way he fought the fight, you could see he wasn't taking him seriously, because he wasn't fighting his normal fight.
All week long you were thinking it was shades of Tokyo. There were reminders of Tokyo, Feb 10, 1990, everywhere as they prepared for this fight. Lewis clearly preoccupied with other things in his life. Rahman focusing on the business at hand.
All I can say is, for beautiful, spacious skies.
You like having an American heavyweight champion, George?
Oh, we can sing the national anthem again.
What a story as Hasim Rahman becomes the heavyweight champion of the world in one of the biggest upsets in the history of the division.